Day, September 13, 2022. Ms. Cindy, have roll call.
Ms. Richards? Mr. Keller?
Here.
Mr. Mangus?
Present.
Mr. Westmoreland?
Present. First up, new business. We'd like to discuss the accounts payable check register for July 30, 2022 to August 15, 2022 in the amount of $11,465,607.40. Mr. Schnallebach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The check register is just attached for information purposes only. Included in this check register is about $1.1 million of construction work. The rest are normal operating expenditures. I'd entertain any questions y'all may have on the check register.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, we'll move on to B, discuss the year-to-date budget to actual comparison schedule for June of 2022. Mr. Schnallebach.
Thank you. Again, this is for discussion only, no actions needed. We're presenting to y'all the final budget comparison report for the year ended June 30th, 2022. A couple things to note: in the general fund, revenues exceeded our budget.
Hallelujah.
Expenditures were less than budget.
All right.
We transferred $7.2 million to our capital project fund, we'll talk about later. The net change in the fund balance was a $3.6 million surplus. But please keep in mind, already in our 22-23 operating budget, not included in our budget is $1.8 million of additional property insurance premiums and $1.2 million of office group benefits premium rate increase that's being proposed and considered by the joint budget committee this week.
So it's $3 million more dollars.
Under the capital project fund, we have a net change in fund balance of $24.8 million. We have an ending fund balance of $66.2 million, which includes $35 million from our parish-wide regular capital project fund, $19.4 million of our Phase 1 projects, and $11.8 million of our Hurricane Ida restoration projects. Again, this is just end-of-the-year data for the 21-22 school year, and no action is needed this time. I'll entertain any questions if y'all have any questions.
Questions?
I appreciate y'all going to the OGB this week and also the High School Athletic Association. Y'all were busy this week. But I do hope that come Friday when they vote on this, that they will, do you think it's an opportunity that they may not accept the $4.5 million increase or percentage, or
Was my hope
throw that out completely?
Was my hope with our local legislature, especially led by Mr. Bill Wheat, that we can go ahead and get these items off the Office of Group Benefits wish list and get no increase at all. You know, they're sitting on $421 million in fund balance. They're increased their fund balance $117 million this year alone. There's really no reason they should be asking for a rate increase.
Yeah. I spoke with Bill Wheat myself, and he said he's going to try to do everything he can possible to help us.
It's a big committee with a lot of members on it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have 3 from our parish, or from our area, so hopefully they'll, but that's good. I appreciate y'all going to work, because it was 21-something%. Now it's 4, even if they do pass it, at least it's not 21, it's 4.5.
Right. Well, there's still a chance they can come back and get to 21.2% if the budget committee approves the administration's recommendation. I have a feeling that that will be pushed, try to be pushed through on Friday week.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Consider approval of the 2021-2022 revised annual operating budget. Mr. Schnallebach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a few budgets that are special revenue budgets that have changed throughout the year that we'd like to go ahead and get approval. 3 of them are ESSER-related funds in which budgets in which we have some additional expenditures that we want to go ahead and get approval on. 2 of them are related with Hurricane Ida, and the remaining are all capital projects, Phase 1, where expenditures were less than we anticipated, and we're just budgeting down on the expenditures.
Okay. Do we need a motion to approve that?
Yes, sir.
So move.
A second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion on this revised budget? If not, Ms. Cindy, we'll call for a vote.
Voting is open. Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Last on our agenda is consider approval of the Phase 2 construction projects.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The administration has put some work into a Phase 2 facility improvement plan. I'd like to go over it with the committee. Kind of go over the scope. The scope of the work is very narrow, and it's mainly focused on outlining the federal court's final agreement requirements documented on our February 2020 document, and also document 1695 concerning improvements at Ponchatoula High School that was dated June 6, 2022. So the two items really is eliminate the modular classrooms at Ponchatoula High School, and then replacement of 75% of the existing temporary classrooms in effect during the 2018-19 school year. We've identified funds available for Phase 2 project. We have $12 million of ESSER funds. We have $27 million of our capital project funds on hand. Earlier I told you we had $35 million in that. We're going to spend $27 million, or 77% of that balance on Phase 2. That will leave us a balance of $8 million in our regular capital project needs. The 2022-2023 capital project fund budget is $11.9 million, so we'd have a good, healthy fund balance in our capital project fund, even after funding a big portion of our Phase 2 funding. And in addition, we're proposing $15 million of sales tax revenue bonds that would be restricted about $1.2 million of future sales tax dollars to fund these projects. To go over the projects, and Cindy, if you don't mind when we get to it, we'll do project number 1. It's an 18 classroom addition with a serving cafeteria at Ponchatoula High School. Projected cost is $12.3 million. Can you go 2 pages down?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
This project, okay. I'll put the next one, see it there. This is the cost sheet. The cost is $12.3 million.
You want this?
The diagram will be fine. And here you can get a diagram. It's a 2-story building. There'll be 8 classrooms on the ground floor, 10 classrooms on the second floor. The ground floor will also include a serving cafeteria. This project will eliminate 16 temporary classrooms that are currently on Ponchatoula High School's campus. And you can see here, you can see this side of this will be just south of the bus loop on the west side of the campus, next to the welding shop. The next project on our list is project number 2, which is a 20 classroom addition with a serving cafeteria in the shop at Lorenzo High School. The cost of this project is $14.1 million, and it will eliminate 18 temporary classrooms. 16 of them will be at the high school, 2 of them will be at the elementary school. The current welding shop at the elementary school will be converted to a pre-K building for elementary school use. The site on this shop, or this location, would be next to the existing high school student parking lot just on the east side, in the property that we purchased from the Graffia family.
Airbone family.
Third project on the list is a second wing 10 classroom addition at Chan Cooper. It would be the middle light gray portion. Yes, ma'am, right there. It's a 10 classroom addition. The estimated cost is $8 million. At this particular time, it would not remove any temporary classrooms. There are 12 on this campus. They would be removed once the third and final wing is completed. The fourth project is a 6 classroom addition with a library for Woodland Park campus. And this project would cost $4.1 million. It would remove 5 temporary classrooms off this campus. The fifth project is an 8 classroom addition at Lucille Nisa Memorial. Cost is projected at $4.1 million. It will eliminate 6 temporary modular classrooms off this campus. The sixth project is an 8 classroom addition at Chesbrough Elementary. We would extend the wing right there. We would eliminate 5 temporary classrooms off this campus at a cost of $4.0 million. And the seventh and last project is an 8-classroom addition at Independence Leadership Academy. It would be a pre-K class building, pre-K class building. It would eliminate 6 temporary classrooms off this campus at a cost of $3.7 million. There's some miscellaneous costs in the total proposal. Phase 2 cost is $54 million. It would eliminate 56 temporary classrooms, and we would be adding 78 permanent classrooms to our inventory of classrooms. These estimates include all project-related costs such as architectural fees, construction costs, technology infrastructure, FF&E, which is furniture, fixtures, and equipment, and other expenses. Project number 2 will allow the existing welding shop, that's the Laranja High School addition, the existing welding shop to be converted to pre-K classrooms, resulting in the removal of 1 double trailer building. Projects 3 and 4 would be funded with ESSER funds. It would be subject to the Davis Bacon requirements. So when everything's said and done, we would meet our goal of reducing from 203 temporary classrooms to less than 51, or a 75% reduction. The majority of our temporary classrooms after the completion of phase 2 would be 12 classrooms at Chan Cooper, 8 at Laranja Elementary, and 11 at Laranja Middle School, for 31, or about 70% of our temporary classrooms. We'd have a total of 45 remaining. The rest of them would be spread over no more than 2 or 3 at any school throughout the district. At this time, I entertain any questions about phase 2 projects.
Well, I need a
You want
motion and a second before we
I'll make a
discuss.
motion to accept phase 2
I'll second.
projects.
I'll second.
You're not on the
Yes.
Oh,
committee.
that's right. I thought we'll move on to
Second.
the
All
next
right,
committee.
sorry. All right, Mr. Duncan?
Just, Brett, if you could clarify the action of the committee tonight, and then ultimately when the board takes this up, exactly what we are approving at this time, and then what additional board actions will be necessary as we go forward.
You would be approving the administration's authority to go forward with these projects. We'd enter into contracts with our architectural firms for design work. Once design work is completed, we'd go out for bids. We'd come back to the board with low bid prices for contract work and seek approval for those contracts at that time.
Okay. So there'll still be other board actions on the specific projects, but we're approving going forward with this group of projects generally. Okay.
Do I have anything? No
I
good?
think it's great. I appreciate all the hard work, and I appreciate the fact that we're not going to have to reach out to our community for any additional taxes by
Thank the public for having a strong sales tax for our shop at home program is really paying off for our school system and for the students in our parish.
Brett, the 56 portables that we would be moving out, most of those we lease, correct?
Not most of them we do, because they're be modular complex, and we lease all of those.
Any kind of figures on what we would be saving on a yearly basis?
I have not put that into calculation.
That would be good to know. Just, I know it's an expensive plan, but we can also tell the public that we're also saving money long-term on leasing and renting these
Yes,
buildings.
sir. I'll have that for the board meeting next week.
Great.
Brett, I have one question. The modular buildings that we do have under contract, are we going to be able to break those contracts without
Yes.
any penalties?
No, there should be no penalties, because most of the buildings are now on a year-to-year basis.
Very good. Mr.
I got
Randy?
2 questions. It seems like in the phase 1, we've had some issues with site, where we we had some drainage issues, some pipes run down the middle, some loose soil. Are these sites definite, secure? We know now we could put these buildings at this spot on these campuses, or we might run into that. We'll start looking into
Huntsville
it.
High is always going to be an issue. We've talked with the architects. One of the things we'll do before we, because we pick the site, we're going to do some ground testing work. There was even some discussion of possibly pilings to make sure that's not a big issue. But Huntsville High is the site that's most concerning to me. The other sites should be fine. The only other one is Lucille Neeson. We haven't actually determined exactly how. One of the best places to put it is where we have a temporary bathroom building right now that may have to be removed from that site. But outside that, all the other ones seem pretty solid locations.
And one more. In the administration's discussion of this, have it's been decided exactly what grades or what classrooms will be in these buildings, or this is just right now Because, we're going to get asked that. I got asked for phase one. Is my class moving? Is the ninth grade moving? Is
Well, one of the things was a ninth grade academy at Ponchatoula High. But ninth grade academy would take 28 classrooms, and we only adding 18. So you can't fit the full ninth
Right.
grade classes at that school. I think the thought is at Ponchatoula High, it would be more than likely the freshman, sophomore type classes, maybe humanities, maybe a specific subject matter type of situation. For other campuses, they're mainly elementary schools. I know at Laranja Elementary, we have 2 pre-K classrooms that aren't even housed on our campus, so we'd like to get those students back on our campus. So that's why I think
Independence.
Independence Leadership Academy, we'd like to get that as a pre-K, get those classrooms back on our campus.
And the things that Ms. Tilly said about you today at the luncheon were absolutely correct, sir. You got your stuff together, let's just face it. And I told your wife, it's like you don't have anything else to do. You're going to do 50-something other $1 million worth of projects. So I don't know when exactly you're going to do all this, but we'll be praying for you, sir. It's exciting.
I think our biggest challenge for me up front now is replacing Mr. Schmidt and getting a new director of operations. That advertisement closes tomorrow, so we'll work hard on getting a good applicant, a good candidate for that position.
Sir?
Mr. Schneiderbach, is it safe to say, like, what we're building over at Laranja, for the people that are listening, that's going to be the start of our new high school that we're trying to build?
It won't be on the new campus, it won't be in the new land, but it'll be as close to the new land as we can build it.
Right.
Especially the shop too. So that it could possibly be used along with the new high school. But it certainly will be a 2-story building that will be used by the Laranja community for many years to come.
Yeah, Robin brought up a good point. This Punchville High School thing, since we're only going to be 10 classrooms short of actually having a freshman academy, we've taken that into consideration that we can add 10 more classes, or it's just not big enough to put 28 classrooms in?
That's a great question for Pierre, who's on his phone. Did you hear the question, Pierre? Yeah. Could the project expand to encompass the full 28 to 30 classes?
Yeah, I'm not talking about now, but 5 years down the road or whatever.
There is enough
Okay.
land to do it. That was not one of the things we were asked to study as far as expanding, but
Certainly could be added
It's
on the other
certainly-
side of the serving kitchen.
there's enough land. to do
Okay.
it, so, yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Not, we'll call for a vote for the committee. We'll have, next week we can discuss it further too.
Voting
I
is
thought we
open.
moved.
It's not there.
Yeah, it's not coming up.
It's not letting y'all vote.
No.
It's not here.
Do what?
It's not there.
Can we just verbally?
Well, let me
vote?
close it. Oh,
Yes, Rick.
Yes.
Yes.
is it there now?
Yeah, it's there, yeah.
Not on
I think I
mine.
marked all y'all
I
not
vote
present.
no.
It's not on mine, but it don't matter, just
Yeah.
yes.
It was there on.
There it is, there it is.
Oh, okay. Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, that's all to be before the committee. This meeting's adjourned.